Yes, he does. I can see that.
I'd like to propose a toast to our Elizabeth, who has chosen the most noble profession a woman can choose. I pray that you shape the minds of a new generation of our citizens. Congratulations. Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Thank you, Daddy.
Bon appetit.
Dear sis, I'm so pleased that John and I could celebrate with you before we head home to New York.
So what now, Elizabeth? When we receive your school placement?
I meet with Superintendent Higgins tomorrow to discuss it.
I hear he's very handsome, and he's very unattached, too.
Surprising as it may seem, little sister, a school where I can do the most good is more important to me than what Mr. Higgins looks like.
Hear, hear.
Speaking of handsome, little bird told me that Edward Montclair has returned home.
From where?
Becoming a Mountie.
A Mountie?
Well, his father thought he was frittering his life away, so persuaded him, shall we say, to enter the academy.
I'm told the academy can be hard on a young man. Please, we're speaking about Edward. A perpetual idler, if ever there was one.
You're just being blasé about him because he's the opposite of you. He's carefree, and you don't like anything you can control, which includes men. At least one worth being with. Isn't that right, Mother?
Yeah, don't ask me. Ask your father.
Well, your mother certainly tamed this old merchant marine.
William.
It's true, and I thank you for it. Without you, I would not have been blessed so abundantly. And look at your handiwork. A devoted wife and mother, a devoted soon-to-be teacher, and God help us, our very own young, spirited adventurer.
Better to be an adventurer than end up an old schoolmarm, never taking any chances in life and love.
Julie Thatcher, apologize, please. This evening is for your sister.
Valedictorian. Graduated summa cum laude. Impeccable marks from all of your professors. This is very impressive, Miss Thatcher.
Thank you. And just so you know, I am fully equipped with all the latest teaching theories, such as the foregrounding method as a means of explaining the difference between the poetic and everyday
Yes,
language.
yes. Trust me, I am aware of how well equipped you are. What I mean is, I have a confession, Miss Thatcher. I have been following your aspirations for some time.
You have?
Oh, there was a symposium at the Teachers' College some months ago, and I noticed you. I hope you don't mind, but I inquired about you.
Well, I suppose that...
Miss Thatcher, may I call you Elizabeth? The truth is, I am very pleased that I now have this opportunity to enter your life at a time when I can be helpful.
Thank you, Mr. Higgins.
Now, in terms of your obligations, are there any distractions, say, any hobbies or suitors at the moment?
None whatsoever.
There is an opening at Weston Day School, grade 6 class.
Weston. Oh, Mr. Higgins, to teach at a school with such an abiding regard for truth and excellence among its students. Oh, you won't be disappointed, I promise.
Please, you must call me Thomas.
Oh, thank you, Thomas.
Now, in return for such a fine placement, there are obvious favors that would demonstrate your gratitude?
Mr. Higgins. I mean, Thomas, I will do my utmost to instill a love of learning in my students, which will make you proud you hired me.
Yes. Actually, that wasn't the kind of gratitude I had in mind.
Oh. Oh, my. Mr. Higgins, I am only interested in a teaching position, not in anything else. May I expect the paperwork for my placement to Weston in the post?
Well, that is entirely up to you.
Perhaps I need to speak with my father about this conversation.
I see. Clearly, we have the wrong impression of each other. I apologize. But just out of curiosity, when the children in your classroom aren't behaving up to snuff, will you also call on Daddy to straighten them out? Oh, yes. Yes, I'm sure we can find just the right school for a woman of your integrity. Wait up.
Miss Elizabeth? A letter for you just came in the post. From Mr. Higgins.
Yes, thank you, Emma.
Yes, ma'am.
Train ticket.
It's west of here. Still further west. Ah, Coal Valley. Just west of the Rockies.
Everyone, look who I found down at the club. May I have the pleasure of introducing Constable Edward Montclair?
Stash.
Oh, my.
You actually graduated.
Yes, ma'am.
Which has turned him into quite a bore. He's so serious now.
Well, congratulations. That's quite an achievement.
Thank you, sir.
Edward, now that you're part of the Northwest Mounted Police, would you please explain to our daughter that the West is no place for a refined young lady?
Constable Montclair's opinion is not necessary, Mother. I am capable of making my own decision, and I have a mind to say yes to Mr. Higgins.
Wait, are you saying Mr. Higgins gave her an assignment out west?
In the middle of godforsaken nowhere.
Mother, the West is hardly godforsaken. I've read there are plenty of people there. For instance, cowboys, whiskey runners, outlaws, men so eager for wives that they might even steal them if they have to.
Young lady, how do you know all this?
Because of the diary. I mean,
Her romance novels.
I'm not ashamed to open my mind to the literature of the world. And it's not only cowboys and outlaws and mounties. There are Indians all over the West. I'm sure most are peaceable. Although, you might want to consider bobbing your hair in case any of them feel the need for a fresh scalp.
Julie, that's enough. Is what she says true?
Well, obviously, I can't speak from first-hand experience. But my training suggests that the dangers out west are indeed real.
We all know Elizabeth is afraid of her own shadow. She's not going anywhere, especially if it's not within walking distance from home.
Is that so?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, we are through discussing this ridiculous idea. Is that understood, Elizabeth?
No, it is not, Mother. This is a decision I will make alone. But I will take your position into consideration. Good night. Auntie Elizabeth. When I stepped off the train in Pine Springs,
I was greeted by a small, precocious young girl named Pearlie, along with her father, Mr. Leverley. Wearing gold-rimmed spectacles and dressed all in black, Mr. Leverley loaded my suitcases onto his black wagon of death, also known as a hearse. He was, in fact, the undertaker. As the hearse continued traveling across the wide-open prairie, the little girl wouldn't stop talking. She covered every topic under the sun, from pickling pickles to her father's occupation of pickling people, and everything in between.
Speaking of pickles, do you like pickles?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Me too. Saltier the better. But I hate it when one of my hairs gets in the pickle jar. Don't you? I bet you got long, pretty hair and you step on it.
We finally arrived at the place I would call home for the next year. They referred to it as the teacherage.
That's everything.
Thank you so much for all of your help.
Good day, Miss Thatcher.
See you tomorrow for school, teacher lady.
I look forward to it, Pearlie.
A teacher. She was a teacher. Out west.
Only moments after the hearse had left, I eagerly made my way from the teacherage to the gleaming new schoolhouse so I could begin preparing for my first day of school.
Good morning, children. My name is Miss Thatcher, and I am very pleased to be your new teacher. Yes, Johnny. Well, that is a wonderful question. A proportion is a special form of an algebra equation. Let me give you an example. Let's say we have a crate of apples and oranges, and they're at a ratio of 4 to 5. Now, if we have 7 apples, then how many oranges do you think that... Excuse me? Is someone there? Excuse me?
So sorry.
The undertaker asked me to bring you some firewood. When I came in before and you were talking, I didn't want to disturb you.
I was only practicing. Thank you. I'm Elizabeth Thatcher, the new teacher. That I suppose you have gathered that much.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I'm not accustomed to small town thinking. Not that thinking is small, but the town itself is quite small, so one would assume that everyone knows everyone else's business. And forgive me, I'm rambling.
I wouldn't know, ma'am. However, if there are any supplies you might need, I'm heading into town on Saturday.
Oh, no, I'm quite all right as I am. Thank you.
Then I'll be on my way.
Why did I just turn it down? Mister?
Whoa!
I'm embarrassed to say I think I was too quick in declining your offer.
I'll be by Saturday around 8. Get you?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Win Delaney.
Well then, Mr. Delaney, I would be much obliged.
Man. Yo, walk up!
I can clearly see where this is headed. No wonder she was keeping it hidden. It's no different than a romance novel.
I worked long into the night, making lists of all the school supplies I'd need from town. along with preparing my first lessons. I wanted so badly to make a strong first impression on my students and their parents. Wolves.
I knew it! Where did you find that?
The question is, where did you find it?
In Mother and Father's safe.
Did they know?
Do you really have to ask that?
So you stole it.
I borrowed it. And then you stole it from me. And Mother's gonna be furious when I tell her you've been reading it.
Really, you don't think she'd be even more disturbed knowing her little adventurer read it first?
Our secret, then?
What I don't understand is why it even has to be a secret. It was so many years ago.
I know. How far have you gotten?
The wolves.
No wonder you jumped out of your skin. Just imagine if you were truly there.
You don't think I could rise to the occasion?
If our auntie was in over her head trying to teach school on the prairie, you would be drowning.
Please, you have no idea what I am capable of.
I know what you're not capable of. For example, sleeping with the lights off?
It's because I need light to read and study late at night, and then I sometimes fall asleep with it on.
You wouldn't last 1 week without the comforts of home. Without Mama and Daddy there to keep you safe.
You're wrong.
Fine. Then prove it.
How am I supposed to do that?
Spend the next week alone in the old groundkeeper's cottage. Eat and sleep there, cook your own meals, do your own laundry with no help from the staff.
And if I win this little wager, what of yours will be mine at the end of the week?
My admission that I was wrong to underestimate you. Along with my full blessing for you to pursue this teaching position in the middle of nowhere.
Deal. Touch of comfort for you, sister. With deep admiration, Julie. Well, this is a surprise. All right, Auntie. It's just you and me now.
My first few days were filled with every possible disaster. Starting with that pack of ravenous wolves that kept me up half the night before my first day of class.
Yes? Coming! One moment!
Yes. I'm Miss Thatcher, and...
Yeah, we know.
The parents are wondering if you will be coming to class to teach today.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yes, please pass the message on that I will be there momentarily. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Thatcher, and you of course may call me Miss Thatcher. I do apologize for my tardiness this morning. This is not something I will be encouraging here at school. I had a bit of a sleepless night. I am very pleased to be your teacher, and I very much hope to show you all the many joys of learning this year at school. So, let's begin then, shall we? Then I had to deal with troublemakers, like Carl, who take pleasure in goading unsuspecting teachers into touching things they shouldn't. See, children, the woods are filled with interesting things we can learn to spell. Well, Carl, these do have 3 leaves, but I don't believe these are clover.
Oh, I guess you're right. How do you spell poison?
Poison? P-O-I-S-O-N?
As in poison ivy?
No, she wouldn't. To a Lothario unfaithful to his wife.
Miss Thatcher?
Mr. Delaney.
Hey. Hey. Is it still convenient for me to come by and take you into town Saturday?
Yes, of course.
You ready to go, son?
Philip Delaney, of course.
Miss Thatcher? Philip's mother and me are grateful that you're here teaching the children.
I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Afternoon, then.
The plot thickens.
Where are the lovely flowers I left you?
From now on, I'm just gonna call you Carl. Evil Carl, conniving Carl, cruel Carl.
It wouldn't be an authentic wager if I didn't introduce some of the shenanigans from the diary. Besides, the poison ivy complemented the orchids perfectly, don't you think? Don't scratch, you'll scar.
Did you just come to gloat, or is there another reason for your visit?
I just wanted to let you know that while you're apparently having boiled potatoes for dinner, Frederick is preparing us a scrumptious meal. Just admit it, Elizabeth. It's not worth it. Call it quits and come back to civilization.
Never. I'll never give in to you, as I know our auntie never gave in to that scoundrel, Win Delaney.
Don't be so sure of that.
Please tell me she doesn't fall for him. That would make her too much like you.
For me to know and you to find out. What on earth are you doing?
Relieving the itch. A Wild West cure for what ails me. Didn't know your pampered sister was this resourceful, did you? Like I said, I'm not losing this wager. Good evening.
As I rode into town with Mr. Leverley, I relished the thought of Wynne Delaney finding my note on the door. I had successfully rebuffed the charms of this rapscallion, who believed himself to be so irresistible.
My apologies for any inconvenience. Okay.
Good decision, Auntie.
Once in town, my first order of business at the Mercantile had to do with rebuffing another kind of pest. That of the mouse variety. I purchased several of these killing devices, but arming them proved more difficult than I anticipated.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I suppose I did. Oh. I'm a murderer. This isn't a love story, it's a horror story.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, dear.
The poison ivy may have been a little too much.
You spoke to her?
I have my spies. I'm to the office. We're taking on new government shipping business. I'll be back in time for dinner.
Good day, sir.
Your father's far too gentle with you. I wanted him to disallow you from seeing boys for an entire year.
Oh, Mother, it was just a silly little prank.
Scratching could scar her beautiful complexion.
Not possible. The layer of potato paste was like an elephant hide. Besides, someday you'll be thanking me.
Oh, why is that?
She's dug her heels in about this offer of a teaching position out west.
That's what this is about?
She's trying to prove herself worthy in yours and Father's eyes. This silly wager is my way of dampening her spirit. I don't want her to leave home any more than you do, Mother.
I fear she's more serious about this than I thought.
Miss Thatcher? Wait, is everything all right? No, don't do that. It's gonna cause
It's gonna cause the ash to combust.
When the fire gets going well, you can turn that over to slow it down some. But to get it started, you just turn that up right.
Thank you for explaining the proper use of a stove. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go get cleaned up.
Coming down out there, I could give you a ride over to the teacherage on my horse if you'd like. Might get deep pretty quick on the prairie.
I would not like. Excuse me? Like, I can take you to the teacherage on my horse. Why, certainly. I'll just sit in front of a married man so we can speak strongly on his hand because we're safe and dry.
Are you sure you're okay?
Yes, I'm perfectly all right. Thank you. Good day.
This rogue of a man, Mr. Delaney, is in need of a swift kick to his moral posterior. And I am just the one to deliver it! Oh, my. I didn't know I was...
I'm afraid you'll have to excuse my daughter. This, deprivation in preparing to teach out west has left her a little unhinged. And very red.
Yes. Well, you need not deprive yourself any longer, Miss Thatcher. I believe you'll find this opportunity more suitable than the last.
Weston. Why the change of heart?
Let's just say I saw the error of my ways and realized what a quality candidate you really are.
Well, I'll need to think about it.
What's to think about? It's perfect. And it's not out west.
No, it's all right, Mrs. Thatcher. Well, I agree. She needs to weigh up her options.
Well, won't they be needing a speedy reply?
No. I think we should let her think it over. Good day, Miss Thatcher.
I'm not sure we should be doing this.
Yeah, well, I am.
It's her decision.
Yes, but she can be very stubborn, and she doesn't know what's best for her.
And you do.
Yes, and I'm not leaving anything to chance. We are going to help save her from a life of misery and perhaps even death. That's what a Mountie is supposed to do, right? All I know is the old Edward would have done this just for the fun of it. Right broken window.
Mission accomplished.
Goodbye, Coal Valley. Hello, Weston.
This doesn't sound good.
How many were in the box?
10.
Miss Elizabeth! Help me! Miss Elizabeth! Are you all right?
What was everywhere?
Mice. The cottage is infested with them.
Mice? Oh, my word.
Elizabeth, are you all right?
We heard screaming and we came running.
You win, little sister. I'm not cut out for prairie life. It's too much. I'll ring Mr. Higgins in the morning to accept the teaching position at Weston. I'm not made of the same stuff as Auntie Elizabeth.
Where did you get that? How dare you take something from our safe without permission?
Elizabeth didn't take it. I did.
You have no right to steal from our safe.
Steal? Well, at least I don't bribe people.
What do you mean by that?
Perhaps I should take my leave.
I apologize, Edward. Thank you for your concern.
I'm so sorry, Elizabeth. I was only trying to keep you from making a horrible mistake.
What have you done, woman?
I went to see Mr. Higgins. I offered him remuneration if he would find a position for you that would keep you here under my wing.
Good Lord.
You paid him to offer me a position?
I only did it to protect you. You're only 22. I can't have you just out there somewhere, all alone in that wilderness. The world is too dangerous.
It appears I'm not fit to go west. Or worthy of teaching here either.
I was told you wanted to see me, young man.
Yes, sir. I have made a tremendous error in judgment. And I have a confession to make.
What happened to her, Daddy? Aunt Elizabeth. Why all the secrecy? Did she meet with a tragic end?
The truth, Beth, is that we don't know.
Except for a short visit after her teaching post in Pine Spring. My little sister left home and just never came back.
But we're her family.
Beth.
Sometimes life takes a young person on their own path. They receive a higher calling, a calling that becomes more important to them than everything else, even family.
So Mother kept her from us because she was afraid of losing us to the world, like you lost Aunt Elizabeth.
Exactly. Not perhaps how nature intended birds of the nest, but human emotion is more complex.
When I was reading her diary, I found myself desperately wanting to follow in her footsteps.
Perhaps it's no accident that you are Elizabeth's namesake.
But when I consider who I am, I feel unequal to the call. I feel the fears rise up in me. I wonder if all this bluster about going west is just me trying to prove I'm not a shrinking violet.
Edward came to see me today to confess to stacking the deck against you.
How so?
Julie persuaded him to help her release the mice into the cottage.
So he hasn't changed.
Well, actually, he has. I don't believe the old Edward would have had the moral fiber to face me.
But that still doesn't change the fact that I was terrified.
People who live in fear tend to do plenty of nothing. Except perhaps rob themselves of the possibility of joy.
I don't want to be afraid anymore.
Then be confident of who you are. Commit to something, an idea, a vision of the world, something that's grander than yourself. I don't want you to miss out on God's purpose for your life.
love you, Beth.
Today, I had to put my foot down and say enough's enough.
I thought we could use nature to help us with our spelling. For instance, this lovely little spruce. Spruce. S-P-R-U-C-E. Now you all try it.
Spruce. S-P-R-U-C-E.
Good. Boulder. B-O-U-L-D-E-R. Yes, Andy.
May I use the privy?
Children, please let's remember to use the privy before school so we don't have quite so many interruptions, all right?
How do you spell accident? You know, accident, like someone just had an accident in
Carl,
their pants?
perhaps you can spell accident for the class? Andy, you may be excused. Children, eyes up here, please. Perhaps you can spell a synonym for accident, such as calamity or misfortune, or do you even know what a synonym is? Children, it is easy to humiliate one another with our words or in other ways. But let's all strive to treat each other the way we would like to be treated. With respect. Now I want you all to stay right here and look around for other things we can learn to spell together in nature. I will be gone for a moment.
While I went searching for Andy, who I knew was hurting deeply from being humiliated, I prayed for the right words that would comfort him.
Andy, are you all right?
But he knows happening till too late.
I want you to run home and get some nice dry clothes, all right?
Could you wait and tell the class what I did?
Oh, no. Of course not. Accidents happen to everyone. In fact, I have a secret of my own. When I was your age, I used to wet my bed because I was so very afraid of the dark. So there. Now we both know something about the other that no one else will know.
You're a really good teacher, Miss Thatcher.
Thank you, Andy. I want to be. Be all right.
Julie, wake up. Wake up. What is it?
I'm going.
Going where? It's the middle of the night. No, I mean I'm taking the teaching job in Coal Valley. No, you're not. Now go to bed so I can go back to sleep.
I'm serious. I believe it's what I'm supposed to do.
No. I won't listen to you. I don't want you to go. I'll hate you if you do. I mean it. I'll hate you if you leave me.
Julie, you're not losing me. I'm going to write you about everything that happens, so that even though I'm so far away, neither one of us will ever feel alone. Julie, please.
You have the list I made you?
Yes, Mama. For the 100th time, I promise to dress warmly and keep dry and not go out after dark.
There's snow up there in the winter on those prairies, so remember to wear your woolen socks. Stay buttoned up. You don't want to catch cold.
Forgive me. I must keep this brief. Because if I don't, I'm already doing everything in my power to hold the dam back.
I love you, Daddy.
And are you, Beth? Are you? Here, I want you to take this so you can embrace new frontiers without the fear of getting lost. And most importantly, so you can always find your way home. Now go. Go and find out what God's got in store for you.
Watch your steps there, folks.
Elizabeth, wait. I'm sorry for what I said. I do believe that your story will have a happy ending. You're going to get married and have children and have adventures and hardships and more adventures for years and years to come.
Someone once said this to me. Better to be an adventurer than end up an old school mark.
I can't imagine who said that.
My best friend did. All right, Aunt Elizabeth. Time for us to get reacquainted. Teresa, can you come see me, please? Yes, Miss Thatcher. Andy isn't having a good day, is he? No, ma'am. I think perhaps it's best if you walk him home, all right? Yes, ma'am.
He's really sick, ain't he? His folks should take him to the doctor. They ain't got no money.
Well, it sounds as though things are hard for Andy and Teresa's family.
Well, maybe. We could help them. How?
We could take in a collection, like they did to build the school.
We could do one of them penny circuses.
I say we do a box social. People like to eat good food.
Why can't we do both? What do you think, Miss Thatcher?
Well, I think that's a fine idea.
Children, for each ring. Thank you.
Don't climb
Go
over.
to it, Philip. Have your fun. Bye.
Oh, good.
Miss Thatcher? I'm so happy to finally meet you. I'm Lydia Delaney, Philip's mama.
So pleased to meet you as well. I love having Philip in my class.
Oh, not half as much as him. Neither he nor Wynn can stop talking about you when they come home.
All right, folks.
Excuse me.
Folks, gather around. It's time to get this bidding started on our box social here. Now, Folks, remember that we're raising money for little Andy Moran's hospital visit, so let's turn those pockets out, huh? Now, our first bid will be on a boxed lunch with our very own teacher, Miss Thatcher. Let's start the bidding at $1. $1.
$1.
$1. I hear $1. Do I hear two?
$2.
$2. Well, the Undertaker's good for $2. How about three?
$3.
$3. Do I hear four?
$4.
$4. I hear $4. We have a standing bid of $4. Do we hear five?
$5.
$5, ladies and gentlemen, $5. Nicely done, son. Now, do I hear $6?
$6.
$6. I hear $6, young man. Do I hear $7? Do I hear $6.50? $6.50, anyone? Is $6 all there is, folks? All right, Mr. Leverly, it's going once, and it's going twice, and it's
$7.
Well, now we have a standing bid of $7. So do I hear $8?
I'm ready to go to my top bid of $10.
Mr. Delaney, we've got a standing bid of $10. Have you got anything to say about that?
$15.
$15. $15, folks. Mr. Leverly? It's going once. It's going twice. And it's sold to Mr. Wendell Laney for $15, folks. Some of you younger men, you might want to get your money.
Miss Thatcher?
Yes, come in. Edward, what are you doing here?
Just checking to make sure you're safe and comfortable in your car.
Yes, I am, but my question stands. Why are you here?
Your father didn't inform you.
Inform me of what?
Excuse me, coming through.
I'm your escort, Elizabeth. He asked me to see you safely to Coal Valley on the way to my first posting.
Well, he had no right, and I don't need an escort.
Well, clearly he thinks differently.
Clearly, but the fact remains that I can take care of myself just fine. So feel free to get off the train.
Oh, it's moving a little fast.
I don't mean right this moment, but at the next stop.
Oh, very well. Seeing as that's where we'll be meeting the stagecoach at 0700 hours, taking us the rest of the way to Coal Valley, I'd be happy to.
I don't think you heard me. I don't need or want your company.
Well, then you can just pretend that I'm not here. But just so as you're clear, I will be on that stagecoach. And I will see you safely to your destination, rain or shine. Good evening, Elizabeth. I never got a chance to apologize for the mice.
I don't feel like talking right now, if it's all right with you.
Of course. I understand.
Despite the money we raised for Andy's medical treatment, Wynne Delaney had sunk to new lows bidding on a picnic lunch with me. And now he's given me no choice but to confront the situation head on. However, I know doing that is going to come at the risk of harming his lovely wife and family.
Miss Thatcher. Mrs. Delaney. Oh, I feel just awful. I didn't think to invite you to Our Lady's quilting. I just assumed you'd be busy.
No, not at all. That's not why I'm here.
Oh.
But perhaps at a more convenient time.
I see.
Miss Thatcher, you're here. I was just about to leave to come pick you up. Let me get my hat out of the lean-to.
I have to tell you, I'm surprised Wynne bid on this picnic with you.
That is, in fact, why I'm here. Mrs. Delaney. I want to make it perfectly clear that I have never made any advances towards your husband.
My husband? What are you saying?
I'm sorry to have intruded. I think it best I go.
Not until you explain yourself, Miss Thatcher.
I only felt that if I confronted this directly, that perhaps we could stop it.
Stop? What?
Mrs. Delaney. Surely you see. I know of no other way to tell you. Your husband is a womanizing swine.
Oh. How dare you say such a thing? My husband is the kindest, noblest soul on earth. And the fact that you stand here making these horrible accusations while he lies in a hospital bed is disgusting and pathetic.
Lydia? Is there a problem here?
Our dear teacher is either ill or has been drinking. Because she just called my Philip a swine and accused him of having romantic feelings for her.
You're not Philip's father?
Uncle.
Oh, my Lord. I don't know.
Please, come and sit with us.
No,
Let me get you something cold to drink.
No, I'm very sorry. I don't know how. I'm very sorry. I'll go. My profound disgrace, however, did not stop Wynne from making good on what turned out to be a splendid picnic. Thank you. I had a wonderful time.
Elizabeth. I'm sorry. Miss Thatcher, I'm sorry.
Elizabeth, please.
I was thinking, and I don't mean to be presumptuous, but there's a very special dance next weekend, and I was wondering if you might like to accompany me, if your time isn't already spoken for.
Must be quite a dance.
Yes, it is. You'd have to take the train and spend the night in a hotel. My intentions are most proper, and I'd be seeing to all your arrangements.
It would give me a chance to visit Andy in the hospital.
You're always thinking of your students.
I accept.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Good.
Well.
Wynne Delaney, you aren't just a farmer.
What is he then?
He's like you, a Mountie. He was caring for his brother's wife and child while his brother was recovering from an injury and tending their farm.
Sounds like something a Mountie would do.
My aunt had no idea until we took her to a special Mounties ball.
I've been told it's quite the grand event.
From what I'm reading, it is.
I have to get there someday.
I'm sure they have nothing like that in Coal Valley.
Probably not. May I have this dance, Miss Thatcher?
Oh, I don't think that would be it.
Please? Just in case I ever make it to the Mounties Ball.
I'm suddenly sleepy. I want to get a good night's rest before our journey tomorrow.
Right. Of course. Night then.
Good night.
After the rapture of going with Wynne to the Mounties Ball, I began to sense he was pulling away from me.
Well, you must be relieved to have Mr. Delaney back home safe and sound.
Yes. But I couldn't have made it through this without Wynne's help. And you're wondering what happens to Wynne now that Philip's home.
I have feelings for him. I think he feels the same.
Putting it mildly, dear. Taking you all the way to Calgary is saying something in a Mountie's salary.
Do you think he'll ever settle down?
He gave you the why Mountie can never marry speech, didn't he? Well, I can't lie to you, he believes it deeply.
I can't believe that a man and a woman who are truly devoted to one another couldn't find a way to make it work.
I agree. But if anybody's going to prove that to him, I believe it's you.
Whoa. Elizabeth?
Wynne?
mended that part of the fence where the herd's been getting out.
Good. Well, then you can go get yourself cleaned up and take Elizabeth back home.
Of course.
Do all manties fear falling in love?
Fear? No. Why? Is that what happened to your aunt?
Yes. Wynne Delaney gave my aunt his "why a Mountie can never marry" speech.
Well, if you think about it, it'd be quite hard. Raising a family, settling down. Especially when you're constantly putting your life on the line and moving from post to post, following a higher duty.
Someone in a hurry.
Get off now!
This can't be good. Stay here.
Dear Lord, please help us.
All right, put your hands in the air. Now put your hands up.
Mountie.
That's it. Easy. No sudden moves.
But what about them? I believe that belongs to me.
Edward!
Believe it or not, it was I who had the gun pointed at his head. Until they showed up.
Nothing but dresses, and shoes, and books!
Where's the money?
Really think we'd be foolish enough to travel with money?
Please, that's mine.
Not anymore.
It's just something my father gave me. Its value is very little. Please.
Where's the money?
I'll give you the money.
Elizabeth.
It's hidden under the coach bench. Just lift the leather cushion.
That's more like it. Let's go.
Yeah, you know. Hey!
Please. Please, my compass.
Sorry, ma'am. I need it. It's easy to get lost on this prairie.
Glad my father had you come along to protect me.
You're a teacher, aren't you, Elizabeth?
Yes.
Right, so you can count. There were 3 of them and there was 1 of me. And more to the point, there's 1 of you. What would have happened if I'd have taken them on and lost, huh? How would you get to Coal Valley then? Look, I promised your father I would get you there safely, and I'm not shirking that duty.
I'm sorry, you're right. What do we do now?
We need to get moving.
How? They shoot the horses away.
You have feet, don't you, Elizabeth?
You grab the other one.
No, we're not taking the trunks.
I can't just leave them here.
They're just things, Elizabeth. They can be replaced.
I just can't. I need to at least bring my school supplies. It contains all of my important teaching manuals, my literature collection.
I'm sorry. Truly, I am, but they won't ever make it to Coal Valley. They're too heavy and it's too far. Now, the sooner you realize that, the better. Come on.
I can't go any further.
Leave the trunk.
I can't.
You must.
I'm not talking about the trunk. It's my feet. I can't walk. I'm in too much pain.
May I? Okay, I'll carry you. But I can't do that and carry the trunk. Okay. Go. This on. It'll keep you warm.
What was I thinking? I just want to go home.
I know it's hard, but we need to keep going.
I'm not cut out for this.
Maybe it's Providence. What's happening to us?
Oh, lovely. Please explain.
Maybe God's making you stronger, more resilient for Coal Valley. Like your own basic training.
Is that what it was like for you?
You know, the first few weeks I hated my father for forcing me into the service. Is that what you said? I want to go home. No, I didn't see the purpose of the pain of pushing myself. You know, especially in light of my years growing up. I thought life was about how much you could get out of the world. You know, what's my share? Like it's my birthright. And then one day, Providence struck. We were on basic training and we were trekking across a pond. Suddenly I broke through the ice. And before I knew it, the current had ferried me away from the hole.
My lord.
I remember seeing the blurry forms of my comrades calling out to me through the ice. And then they were gone. They'd abandoned me. And as I started to run out of air, I realized how small we are in this universe, how every breath, every moment, it's a gift.
How did you survive?
My friends. They hadn't abandoned me as I thought. They'd simply raced ahead of the current, chipped through the ice just in time to pull me out. And as I was being hauled out, I realized that every one of them had put their lives on the line for me. I mean, they could have all drowned, all of them. I knew then. I knew it was my purpose to put my life on the line for others.
Knowing your purpose. My father said very much the same to me.
I took the liberty of reading ahead. I hope you don't mind. I'd like to read something to you. I devoted all of my energy to my beautiful
students. But there was a deep void in all of us. Despite the best efforts of the doctors our fundraiser had provided, it wasn't enough to save little Andy.
Why did he have to leave? Why didn't God make him better?
For a boy, he was real nice. Yeah, Miss Toucher. Auntie was real nice. Why didn't God make him better?
Because God don't care, that's why.
That's not true, Carl. I agree with Carl. We can't all assume that God doesn't care because Andy passed on.
What does assume mean?
Assume means to believe something when you don't have any proof.
Like you assumed Uncle Win was my daddy.
Yes, like that. We all assume many things. Sometimes we're not right to do that. Mama assumes it's her fault because she didn't take Andy to the doctor when she first saw he was sick. See, we all assume much of the time. And maybe we do that with God as well.
So, if we can't assume God doesn't care, then we can't assume he does, right?
Yes, Carl. That's right. But all of us, including me, need to dig for what is true. For example, I care about you all, and I love you so very much. And where does that love come from if not from God?
This is you. If there's one thing I learned during basic training is recognizing the good and the bad in people. You're gonna change the world, Elizabeth, with your gifts. Just like your aunt did.
Well, I guess there are some students waiting for me.
Next equation, 4 times 5 times 8.
Can I help you?
Yes, I'm Elizabeth Thatcher.
Miss Thatcher, you're 2 days late.
Yes, well, you see, our stage was robbed. We were left stranded by 3 outlaws. We had to come most of the way on foot. Constable Montclair braved all to see me safely here.
Constable, do you mind if I have a word in private with Miss Thatcher? Of course. Mrs. Stanton, will you join us, please?
Next equation, 7 times 3 times 6.
Miss Thatcher, we're very sorry for your hardships. Francis Tunnicliffe, this is Abigail Stanton.
It's very nice to meet you.
You might say we're the school board.
You're very young to be a teacher.
I'm realizing I'm perhaps not what you were expecting. But to be honest, I wasn't expecting the town to be so empty. Or the school to be in a saloon.
Yes, well, a schoolhouse would be far more appropriate if it hadn't burned down. Miss Thatcher, Superintendent Higgins did tell you what happened here, didn't he?
Tell me what?
3 months ago, there was a terrible explosion at the mine, and 47 brave men lost their lives. Many of these youngsters became fatherless that day.
Yes, along with my 3.
We asked Mr. Higgins to send us his very best teacher, one who would not shrink at the challenges of Coal Valley.
This teaching post is one of the only things in this entire town the coal company doesn't own anymore. The mothers, all of us who have managed to hang on, decided that we weren't going to let Pacific Northwest Mining be responsible for our children's education any longer. So if you take this job, it'll be us paying your salary.
Miss Thatcher, please understand something. We're all very proud of the work that our husbands and sons did in that coal mine. We know it was an essential risk for the good of our growing nation. But for many of the women in this town, these children are all they have left. And we want them to grow up having choices about what to do, where to go, even if it means leaving this town behind. So whomever we entrust them to has got to be fearless in their ability to help them reach their dreams.
I believe in those same ideals, ma'am.
You won't just be teaching them to read and write. You'll be fighting for their future.
To put it bluntly, are you woman enough, Miss Thatcher?
Miss Thatcher? I know I speak for everyone in saying that we are most grateful for your love of our children this year.
Thank you.
Children, may I have your attention? My name is Elizabeth Thatcher, and it will be my great joy to be your new teacher. I hope you will never be afraid of approaching me with your questions.
Where to?
The first rule in my classroom will always be, there are no bad questions.
Miss Thatcher, may I have a word with you? Immediately?
Excuse me, children.
The men who held up our stagecoach are just leaving town now. So if you'll excuse me, I have some money and a compass to retrieve.
But there's 3 of them.
I like those odds.
Edward, I don't care about the money. I can live without the compass.
I know. But it's my duty to apprehend the bad guys. Just as it's yours to teach these children. Now, if you remember, I read ahead. Some Mounties, they do end up settling down.
Excuse me again, children. I'll be right back. Edward! Edward! I didn't get to tell you I just wanted to say Please come back safely.